Hey, Walt here from StogieReview.com with another video cigar review. This time around we are doing kind of another review where it's in the middle of two different types. Um, this isn't a first impressions review, although we're going to treat it like one. I received two cigars in the mail from Casa Fernandez. Actually, I received a couple of different lines, but two cigars per line from Casa Fernandez a couple of weeks back. So we have too many cigars for first impressions, but not enough cigars for a formal review where we look at consistency across the five and things like that. So we're going to treat this like a first impressions review, although technically it is not. Now, the cigar that we are smoking today, again, comes from Casa Fernandez, and this is the Anniversario Boheme, and I think it's a 54 by 6. It's a nice creamy looking cigar. It's has a kind of an appearance of over-creamed coffee. And it's not focused. There we go. It's a really nice looking cigar. I like the presentation. I like the band. It has just a really tremendous, powerful sort of barnyard aroma. As soon as you open it up, you start to smell the same sorts of smells you get here in Pennsylvania when you're driving through farm country. A little bit of manure, a little bit of that earthy aroma. It lets you know you're in the farm country. And that's the same sort of aroma that I got as soon as I opened the bag of this Casa Fernandez. So it's a little pungent, but appearance-wise it looks great. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to get my cigar clipped, lit, and then we'll come back, again, just like a first impressions review. We'll talk about this really briefly, and then we'll turn the camera off, come back, maybe at the halfway point, cut it off, come back, wrap it up, and that'll be your review. Well, I'm smoking along on my Casa Fernandez Anniversario Boheme, and I gotta say I'm really enjoying it. It has just a really intense barnyard sort of rustic aroma, and that's really pleasant. So I get into cutting the cigar and checking the pre-light draw, to see what I'm going to get on the cold draw, the pre-light flavors, and that barnyard rustic kind of aroma was really muted on the palate, but the concerning thing was that there was virtually no resistance on the draw. I mean, I'm the type of smoker that likes cigars to be kind of loose. I look at it this way. I like to think that I'm dictating the pace of the cigar instead of having to fight through a tight draw. So if it's looser, or if the draw is loose, I can kind of control how it's going. If I want to pick up the pace, I can do that without putting forth too much effort and getting the cigar really hot. If I want to slow down, I can easily sip on the cigar, because the draw is where I like it. But in the case of this cigar, I was a little concerned because there was virtually no resistance, and I didn't know how that was going to affect the way the cigar smoked. I got out the lighter, I started toasting and smoking, and I'm burning through it pretty quickly. I haven't been smoking for a very long time, and I'm probably twice as far in the cigar as I would expect to be due to my slow smoke rate. So the loose draw has it's ups and downs. The downside is that it is smoking faster than I would like. The burn isn't terrible. I mean, if I've touched it up once or twice in this very short period of time, but it's only because it was kind of crooked and it was just kind of bugging me, so I hit it with the lighter. It wasn't really necessary. The upside is that it's smoking beautifully. Just effortless, big gobs and mouthfuls of smoke with just the littlest effort is really nice. The cigar just produces lots of smoke. It coats the palate well. It's got a really nice creamy finish to it. It's kind of silky and smooth and just really easy on the palate. The flavors, I'm getting some coffee notes. I'm getting some nutty flavors. I'm getting a little bit of a woody flavor. Really mild, bit of I don't want to say it's a salty flavor, but you get that same sort of mouth-watering sensation that you do with salt. So it's a really nice combination of flavors and textures. The intensity, I'd say it's maybe medium flavored, mild to medium bodied. This would be a wonderful morning cigar. It's 7 o'clock in the evening. It's kind of the night is winding down. It's still plenty of flavor to push through and be a pleasant cigar in the evening. But I really think this thing would shine first thing in the morning with a cup of coffee, sitting outside, sort of brisk morning, not too cold where you're uncomfortable sitting outside, but maybe in the 60s, you get that steaming cup of coffee next to you, sun's coming up, just beautiful kind of. I'm getting just a wonderful visual. This cigar is just smoking really well, and I'm very happy with it so far. So I'm going to smoke a little bit further. I'm going to gab it up with Jerry a little bit more via text message, and I'll be back. We'll take a look at the cigar maybe once, maybe twice more, and then we'll wrap it up and call it a review. Well, we are coming down the home stretch, and I've got to say, I'm thoroughly impressed. Just really enjoying the cigar, and just everything that comes along with it. It's got like a medium flavor intensity, mild to medium body, and a nice creamy finish, and that alone just strikes me as just a wonderful morning cigar. And even though it's far from morning, the cigar is just smoking really well. I just keep envisioning myself, sitting, smoking this cigar with a cup of coffee early in the morning. The flavor profiles, I'm getting flavors of nuts, a little bit of woodiness, some coffee, just a touch of bitterness, a little bit of a saltiness, and it's just got this chewy, rich, sort of earthy component to it that when you tie everything together, it's just really impressive. I'm just gushing here. I'm just so impressed with the cigar and how well it's smoking. I've had a lot of really good experience with Casa Fernandez cigars, but it's been a while since I've had one. So when I opened up the package and I started looking over at what Casa Fernandez sent me, the bar was set really high. Some of the sticks that I've smoked in the past that are made by Casa Fernandez have been just really impressive. For instance, Casa Fernandez is responsible for some of the top shelf cigars product that Jim Cronin carries in Skip Pack. It's a house blend. That's a variety of lines that he carries in his store, for sale amongst his customers. I think he's even branching out, trying to push it to other shops. But my first experience with it was as a house blend for his shop, and I was just really impressed with it. Just super solid cigars, and when I found out that Casa Fernandez made it all those years ago, I was really eager to branch out and try other products. I've had a handful of them in the past, and all of them have been really good. So, when I got this package and I started looking through it, I didn't give Casa Fernandez that little bit of a leadway that I do with a lot of other manufacturers. Especially when I get cigars from manufacturers I've not quite heard of, that I've not really heard of or don't know a lot about. I give them some slack. I go into the cigars with an open mind, not knowing what to expect, and not that I don't do that with every cigar, but I set the bar really high with the Casa Fernandez product, and I was expecting a whole lot out of it. I didn't go into this, expecting a mediocre cigar. I knew that it had to hit home and it had to do really well if I was going to like it. Because it had to compete with all of the other Casa Fernandez product that I've had to date. And I'm happy to say that it does that very, very well, and it's just a wonderful cigar. I'd have to smoke some more of these, but it is definitely a contender for a top cigar of the year, or top 10 cigars of the year to get into that list. Again, I'd have to smoke some more of them, but it's definitely up there as one of the better cigars that I've had this year. So really impressed. Make sure you head out and pick one up if your local shop carries them. If not, poke around with some of our sponsors, see if they carry Casa Fernandez product. I don't know off the top of my head. Otherwise, I'd tell you where to go buy them. But this is a kind of a spur of the moment review, and I've done no research leading up to it. I'm just kind of going into this blind. I don't even know anything about the makeup of the cigar or anything like that. I'm just so enthusiastic about it because of how well it smoked. But that's going to do it for this first impression / short ashes review. I hope you enjoyed it, and until next week, happy smoking.